Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. It is springtime in my country and everyone is out there riding their motorbikes and driving their classic cars and all that. It's spring, summer is coming, and I catch myself a cold. So I'm feeling okay now, but I have been under the weather for a couple of days. You might be able to hear it on my voice. It's not only whiskey, but today I would like to do some work in the garage. This is, and I found out what kind of model it is. It is a Dunlop tool for doing alignments on cars the old-fashioned way, the way that I like to do it. I have never tried using one of these, but I would like to try it out because my Lancia A112 Abarth is like this. It's actually driving pretty well, but it is wearing out the tires pretty quickly. And when the tarmac gets wet, it is really unpredictable because if one of the wheels lose traction, the other one will take over and the car will just change direction. But as long as both of them has the same traction, it is pretty well. It's actually pretty stable like this. But I would like to do something about that today, hopefully, using this cool old school tool. So the tool consists of two of these thingies, one with a thingy right there, another one with just a mirror right there. Let me show you a bit up close. These two are meant to actually not be fitted to the rim, but touching the rim. So these will be adjusted so that they can touch the inside rim, the metal on the rim. Then this one got a mirror right there. It's just a basic mirror. It can be adjusted up and down a little bit, I think, but it's just a mirror. On the other one, we have this thingy. This is actually I would like to call it a binocular, but it's not, because it's not making stuff bigger or smaller or anything like that. So it's just a tube going down all the way here, and in here is a mirror that is slanted like that. That makes it possible to view through this all the way down and out this hole right there and all the way to the mirror on the other side and then back again. And as you can see right there, we got some markings. I would just like to add really quick that I have never used this before, so this is not going to be a guide. This is just going to be me trying to make use of this old school tool. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but it's not per se a guide because I don't have a manual. I don't know how it's supposed to be used. I'm just trying to use my common sense to figure it out. But this symbol is on the plate that you look through. Then you can see the slanted mirror in there and a painted stripe on the glass. So when I look in through this, I can see that symbol. And then the point is to make sure that the stripe on the glass is in the middle of the symbol on the that you can see in the mirror. Let me try to show you, because if I take this like this and adjust it so it touches on both of these, it should be 0 degrees if this system works, or if it's set up right. Because right now there is no toe in or toe out. That's the stuff this machine can do, adjust the toe in and toe out. So if this reads 0 degrees, well then I think it will work. So now I can look through this one and find the symbol over there. I'm going to try to show you the process through that little hole. Could be difficult, maybe. Oh yeah, so you can see the symbol down there, and if I turn it, you can see that stripe in the middle. We want that stripe to be exactly between the two thick black stripes. There is actually a thin line also, but I don't think you can see that on the camera. I'm not sure though. But that's right about I'd say this is pretty much in the middle. Of course, if I do this to the camera, it will look out of alignment, but it looks to be in alignment right now with these touching. And then I can read the toe in, toe out angle right there, and it reads 0, pretty much bang on 0 degrees, toe in, toe out. So I think this will work. If, for instance, I did like this would mean that the tires would be pointing towards each other, toe in. Let's see if we can see if that works. Then I'm going to adjust the, oh, it's difficult. Then I'm going to adjust until we're in the middle. It's right there. It's toe out. Does that make sense? Yes, of course it makes sense. It's because I actually thought this was supposed to be fitted to the car the other way, but it's supposed to point forward. So this is at the engine or the front side of the car. So that makes it toe out, of course. I think if you fit it the wrong way, it wouldn't really matter. It would just show toe out instead of toe in, but the degree amount would be right. But let's try it on the car, because the theory seems to work. It is showing 0 when I think it is supposed to, so I think it works actually. Let's try. Okay, so I need to take the car out again and remove the lift, because I thought that I could just park it on the lift and do it, but the lift is too big to fit between the axles without one of the wheels being on the ramp. Is that a problem? Maybe not, but in theory it could be a problem. Right now the front tire is completely off the lift, because I thought then maybe I could measure it on that. But it means the car is slanted, which means that in theory a bit more weight is at the front. The system is more compressed, therefore the camber angle and the toe in, toe out will alter a little bit. So there we go. Let's go ahead and set this up to fit this tire, tiny tire. And there. Now let's attempt to look down there. It's very difficult to see in the camera. I'm gonna attempt, just gonna try to find it without and show you. I have found it now, but I think it will be hard to show. Oh, this is nice. This is even better than my eyes. Can you see? It's very difficult to actually see the symbol over there because of the sun is glaring. But as far as I can see, the middle is right there. It is easier to look than to film, but it's working. That means that it is reading about between 1.5 of toe in. So I will try to test this before going further. So I was actually, and yeah, it's dark outside. It took a while. I have been doing some math and some other stuff, but I found a manual for the Dunlop alignment tool. but not for this model though. I think I got a really old model right here. This is called a number 20. So I think it's an old one, because the one I got on the manual got a calculator kind of thing that you can turn and calculate the amount of toe in, toe out. That is supposed to be measuring in degrees. I don't think mine is though. I think mine is more simple, more crude, more unprecise, but it will work just fine, I think. And I have come to the conclusion that these measurements down here must be inches. But I'm not sure, so I'm going to try to check that, because now I got a measurement from this one. So I'm going to try to measure in another way and see if I get the same result or thereabout, and then I would say it would be good enough. And to do that, I found this tool, which is another old school alignment tool that I have lying around because I like those kinds of things. This one works in a bit different way, but in a very simple way also, because you can adjust the length of this bar. And then I think the point is that you measure the back side. There's most likely many ways to do it, but if you measure on the back side of the wheel, between both of the wheels, like from there and to the other side, and then zero this gauge. I'm not saying you're supposed to use it like this, but it should be possible at least. Then if you zero out the gauge at that position, like that, and clamp it on, and then measure from the front of the wheel to the other wheel, then this one will move in and out like that. And this is of course supposed to be clamped, so it wouldn't move like it did right there. And then it will show you the toe in and toe out, because the distance most likely are different. If not, it won't have any toe in and toe out. It will be straight on exactly. So I'm going to try to remeasure my measurement with this one to see if it's the same. But I got the same problem on this one because I don't know what kind of measurement this is. But it is stating London down there, so I presume it's inches. So let's test if that's the case. This is set to inches. And then let's just move it all the way out to the biggest one. That's a bit difficult to do one-handed precisely, but I'd say that's pretty much 1 inch. So if we go to the one in the middle, it's 0.5 inches. So this is inches, I'm pretty sure of it. So let's try to do the same measurement, but with this one. Okay, so I am at the back side of the wheel now. I put the tool on the inside of the rim right there, and then I have zeroed out the gauge so it points at the red arrow and clamped up that one up there. So now I should be able to move this to the front of the tire and then take a reading. And then we're gonna go in there and then push it and let it settle right there. And there we go, I have a reading. I don't know what's it called. Is it called thou? No, it's not called thou. But it must be around 2/8 of an inch. I really don't know much about the imperial system, but I think it's called that. So after a lot of messing around with all these measurements, I think I have come to a conclusion about the current toe-in situation on the Lancia. What I have done right now is, of course, I measured with that pole I showed you just before. That measures the same as the fancy Dunlop one. Yeah, fancy. But I didn't completely trust it, so I have measured with a tape front to back. Firstly at the front of the tire at the same position, and then at the rear at the same position, mirrored. What I got was a measurement of 2 meters 22 centimeters, 0.2 at the front, 2 meters, 0.22, 0.9 at the rear. That means 7 millimeters toe in according to that measurement. Setting this to 7 millimeters is there, about. Then putting the 7 millimeters. And it's I'd say it's an exact match. So I'm happy about this. It seems to be working just fine. I don't think this is in degrees like it is on the manual, like it states on the internet for the manual for this one, but I think this is an older model. So I think this is in inches, and the half is the half of a half inch. I'm really puzzled about that, but at least I can measure with this and make sure that it shows the right thing on this one. The problem is, this is 7 millimeters toe in. That's a lot. According to my manual, it is supposed to be unloaded between 1.5 and 2.5 millimeters. So we have a massive amount toe in on this car, which is not supposed to be like that. Remember, I could be mistaken. I could be doing this completely wrong. But this is just what I found out. So what I'm going to try is to alter the alignment until I get around 2.5 or a bit below that of toe in, and then drive it around for a bit and see if that makes a difference. Because, let me show you, but maybe you can see it, we do have wear on the sides of the tire, so that makes sense if the toe in is a bit too much, a lot too much actually. But this is going to be all for this video. I got all my measurement stuff lying around. Now, I think I know how to use this tool. I think I trust it. Tomorrow I'm gonna go ahead and try to adjust it on this car. Anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one, which most likely is going to be a video about adjusting this thing and maybe taking it for a drive